Hello, this is Rich Robitaille with the American Legion with our latest episode for our video podcasting series highlighting veterans, veteran affairs programs, and veteran affairs services. This episode, we come to you from Paterson, New Jersey, in the offices of the Veteran Services for Catholic Charities. And we have with us Dave Pearson from Catholic Charities. Welcome to the program, Dave.
Hey, Rich, how you doing?
All right. I think you're the fourth or fifth episode, and talking with Dave and the Veteran Services here in Paterson is an amazing opportunity for any nonprofit groups out there or veterans out there. They do a lot of wonderful programming here and a lot of wonderful things. So Dave, can you tell us, for those out there who don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about what you do here at Veteran Services at Catholic Charities in Paterson?
Sure. We have a supportive services for veteran families grant, and we really basically work with homeless veterans. We work in 7 counties. Morris, Sussex, Bergen, Union, Hudson, Passaic, and Essex.
Well, you do a lot more than just Paterson.
Yes, sir. And we're in partnership with the Archdiocese of Newark. And the grant is, a fairly large grant. And what we do is, provide, housing services for homeless and at-risk veterans.
Wow. So what are the main issues you see coming in through your door that you assist with?
Mostly homelessness. And or loss of somebody going to lose an apartment, risk of losing the apartment. But a lot of the things are really, really tricky because a lot of times our people are underskilled, lower income, no income. The grant is a housing first grant, which means that in traditional housing practices, what you would do is you wouldn't let somebody into your program unless they could maintain. With SSVF and the Housing First, what you do is you place the client into an apartment and then wrap services around the client.
Oh, wow.
To help and then the main parts, again, with the older systems, it was about giving the check. The main part of this is the case management, right? So the idea is for somebody to work, with the client, with the veteran, and to help them, come to some place where they can, maintain and be self-sufficient.
Okay. And where is your office located here in Paterson?
It is on 212 Slater Street in Paterson. We have an 800 number for anybody that's homeless. They should screen with that. And that's 855-SOS-VETS, 855-SOS-VETS, or 855-767-8387. Great.
And tell us about your staff here. How big of a staff you have assisting you?
Well, we have brick and mortar buildings in all 7 counties. And so here we have, I think, 4 case managers, our director, Melissa Shaber, a data entry person, and then an outreach person.
Wow, well staffed here.
Yeah. And then our Newark offices all have a case manager, and they have outreach folks too. So, we're pretty engaged within our communities.
Awesome. Well, you do a lot of work here in Paterson, but you and I got to know each other a few years back when we worked on some mutual veteran affairs programs. You do a lot of outreach. Besides working right here in the city with the homeless vets or the housing issues you just discussed, you also created this veteran stakeholder program that really reaches out across all of New Jersey. And I think a lot of our nonprofit groups out there who work in different areas of veteran affairs might be interested in what you built. Can you explain to the viewers what the veteran stakeholders are?
Sure. Early on, we started to identify that there's needs that the grant doesn't take care of. So we created our clothing closets that, we have, I think 3 clothing closets now active, that's ours. We give food out and stuff like that. So people were falling between the cracks in a lot of ways. So one of the things we did is we started it here in Passaic County. It was with the Veteran Service Officer, John Harris. You know John. And he's a Marine veteran and Vietnam vet. We started it, we had a cup of coffee, and we decided that we needed to do something better for our veterans. Connect people, look for gaps in services, because there's plenty of gaps in services.
It's ironic you bring that up, because the previous interview I just did with Nancy and Jeff Mullins from Rebuilding Warriors, they brought up that exact point.
Yep.
That's how they work with service dogs, because the VA doesn't provide service dogs. So they fill that gap. So talk about the gaps you're filling.
So, the group did grow. And then I started to work with AJ Luna up in Bergen, Joanne Northgrave, and now we're in we have meetings in 10 counties, so it's a good thing. What happened is we created it first of all to identify the gaps, and then to come up with solutions to fill the gaps, right? And, different initiatives. So, we saw things like there was no transportation, and not enough transportation in Passaic County. So we had somebody locally who started to fill in that gap. And I don't think they're in operation now, but for that time, it was like, a very good thing. There's the idea with this, let me just get in because I'm kind of like an abstract person. So the idea with this is like this. What we wanted to do, it's like a spider web, right? So you have a veteran that's in need, homeless, falls on the web, right? And so what it is, the web's vibrant, so it signals to the rest of the stakeholders, right, that there's somebody in the system. And when we would come in to meet, the idea was to share the resources. So, so this veteran comes in, now we didn't always know where to refer them, right? So what happened is, now they fall on the web, now we know if the person has a legal issue where we can send them. If the person has a job issue, I might send them to VAST, right, in Newark, I think you interviewed them, right? Mm-hmm. And it depends. And people share information. We share, all the things that we can do for clients. A lot of times a guy will have some kind of legal thing. We can send him to volunteer lawyers for justice. There's all these stakeholders in all the different counties. The idea was to knock down that wall of the county too, for we can exchange services. Because we just had a prior conversation, and the idea was that all these organizations were siloed, right? They're not sharing information. That's the benefit. Like what's so great that you're doing this. It's that like now again, this is another method to share information with everybody in the community. And that's what we did with this. The idea was to knock down the silos, share information, and just the main goal was to improve the life of our veterans on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. And we've been fairly successful at it.
Yeah, there's multiple, as I do this, I've interviewed veterans who, give to me their point of view of going through the VA or dealing with different services and programs. I've been speaking with, and will be speaking with even more, heads of nonprofit organizations. But Dave is kind of at that level where he brings all of that together. Yeah. Does that sound right?
That's
so
right.
If there's a nonprofit group out there that has a specialization, they can contact you to become part of your web.
Right.
And then if a veteran comes in needing a certain service, you know who to go to.
That's right.
And we're always sharing that information. Dave is a great resource for any veteran or nonprofit leader who you should be part of his connections, because he can help you. Also, if you'd like to be part of a veteran stakeholder meeting in one of the counties, he holds them in all the counties in conjunction with the county VSOs. How can they get in touch with you if they want to be part of that?
They can email me at dpearson@catholiccharities.org. Now, the problem is where Catholic and Charities meet, it's one C. So it's catholiccharities.org. And, I can connect you. The other thing we do, we work like a clearinghouse. So if your organization's doing an event, we probably would connect you with Joanne Northgrave's system. And then what we do is we do email blast of your event. And we do that for everybody. Mm-hmm. The one thing that's made us, fairly successful is that we invite everybody to the table, right? And, as long as, we can vet them fairly well, that, they're in it for the right reasons. And we share the information. We help people. Everybody's invited. It's a come as you are party, right? And our only goal is our goal is to help veterans. Our prize is when we do help veterans. That's the only reason we're in existence.
Right. Well, you serve a vital function. One thing I learned many years ago is, when you get out of the military, it's the county office that gets your military records. And every county has what's called a VSO, a Veteran Service Officer. And I tell every veteran to get to know your VSO. There's one in every county, normally at your county administration building. And their job is to maintain a database of all veterans in their county and then send out service notices or help them with employment, help them with housing, help them with food, help them in any way they can. Dave connects with all those county veteran service offices and brings them all together. And so if you're a veteran and have a particular need, you can contact your county veteran service officer, or you can contact Dave, who can steer you in the right direction. And if you're a leader of a nonprofit, contact Dave so you can get into one of the veteran stakeholders meeting and really be able to push out your mission and what you're trying to do to help veterans. Because if you educate Dave and the stakeholders, then it just increases your outreach. Can you tell us any success stories you've had?
Sure. You know, we had a Navy vet and young lady, some children, and you know, homeless. So you know, here's the thing. You know, you find the apartment, we help them find the job, but you're dealing with a family, and that, you know, this is Catholic Charities, so families to us, you know, takes a priority, right? And we push, you know, we found the apartment, we pulled our partners together, and this is not our success, this is the success of our partners, right? So we do our housing gig, right? We provide her with a move-in kit, we have moving kits for people moving into an apartment that are homeless, frying pans, stuff like that, all that basic stuff. We worked with our partners at the Elks, so we took care of the furniture. The children had one cell phone, passing it back and forth. We got our TV through, you know, AJ Luna in Bergen County. She didn't have a vehicle. We connected with Michael Bowles, all right? Go Farmers. And, you know, he helped provide a car. And so that's how it works. We pulled all our resources together to help one veteran family. And, you know, the person's very, you know, doing very well, you know, successful, you know, in an apartment, you know, stable. Kids are beautiful, right?
Wow.
You know, and, you know, that's one of the cases where it really feels that, you know, like we matter.
Mm.
You know, we that's how it works, pulling all the people together to do one thing.
What about any upcoming events you have?
Yeah, there's something that we've always done in the stakeholders also, and it's part of the outreach, is we've always done educational pieces for our communities when we identify an issue. So early on, we did, you know, VA benefits in all the counties. One of them we had in Passaic County here with Frank Quadrino at the time from the VA. We had like 225 vets come out, you know, one night.
Wow.
And so we've done that. We've done that across counties. We've done, you know, benefit seminars, and that's like really important. We just did a PTSD suicide thing. We held an event in Morris County, Passaic County, Hudson County, and I'm forgetting somebody. But you know, it'll come back to me. And they're really good. You know, we've done this for the last couple of years, and we did it. We're good partners. We did it in partnership with the VA. So now what we're doing is we're working on, you know about the Mission Act.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the choice program is no longer in effect. So what we wanted to do, we're asking about the Mission Act. Nobody really knows. So people reading things, and so we reached out to the VA, and we set up some trainings for it. We're going to do one on October 18th in Passaic County. Let me see what other dates I have. We have one on October 30th in Morris, and we're going to be doing these in all 7 of our counties. And what it is, there'll be like, I think like 3-hour trainings with the VA on how the Mission Act works. So please come out. Remember, our groups are usually the providers, but with this kind of group, it's really beneficial if some of the healthcare providers come out. Because, you know, if they sign up, if that's for a service that they have that doesn't exist with, you know, the VA, now they can access that service within their community.
Awesome. Well, thanks. We were talking earlier, we were always networking. I introduced Dave to 2 other connections that is part of the web he speaks of. I think that theme will stick in our minds now. If you are a veteran and you have a need of psychiatric care, there is a counseling center that has a state grant which will take you and not charge you, and that is the Hampton Counseling Center. The contact information is on there, so feel free to contact them. And then if you have a problem with your VA claims, or you need assistance with a trained professional who will also provide free assistance with processing your compensation claims, you can contact Joshua Hansen of the VFW. He is based in the Newark Regional VA office, I believe up on the 4th floor, and you don't have to be a member of the VFW, and he will help you. So anybody you'd like to acknowledge, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, all our stakeholder partners, Joanne Northgrave, AJ Luna, John Harris, you, Rich, for the help. You know, Betsy and Peter down in Somerset. You know, this is how it works. Peter showed the card of the mental health, you know, information there. I just have that. I don't know that resource. So what's going to happen is we're going to invite that resource to our Somerset Hunterton stakeholders group for everybody in those counties can be aware of that too. So that's it. We're good partners. We want your partnership. And, I appreciate all our stakeholders, everything everybody does, and most of all, the service that our men and women do for our country.
Can you reiterate how to get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can email me at catholiccharities.org. That's catholiccharities.org. Where the Catholic and the charities meet, it's one C. So it's CH and not double CH. All right, that's difficult. I could also be reached on my cell phone because I see that's not going to go well. Is 973-818-3601, 973-818-3601. Thanks.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate you being on the video podcast. This is Rich Robitaille and Dave Pearson coming from Paterson, New Jersey. Our next broadcast will be Saturday when I'll be up at West Point, New York for the latest Army game. Go Army, beat Tulane.